We've got big news this week for some GTA 5 players, but that's just the start. We've got the hottest scoop to come out on the upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6 since the trailer dropped over a year ago. We'll get into it.
And a new Tony Hawk Pro Skater game has been teased in the latest Black Ops 6 update. We got all the information on this and a whole bunch more right now on Gaming News Weekly. What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of Gaming News Weekly, the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're bringing all the biggest things happening in the video game industry directly to your ear holes and your eye holes. You can find us on YouTube and podcast services everywhere. As always, I'm joined by this man right here, Mr. Full Clip. What's going on, dude? How are you?
Doing all right, you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
Good,
real good. I've been I've been painting this morning. My fingers are a little painty. My son, have you ever played Slime Rancher, the video game?
I've heard of it, never played it myself though.
My son is obsessed, so now I have to make all these. I've been 3D printing the little slime characters, and now we've been painting them this morning. That's been our
Very nice
job this morning. So. Yep. It's been a lot of fun. It's gaming related, so I feel like I can mention it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been good. I've been just avoiding going outside in the snow and doing everything I can to not have to do that.
Well, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it's nice to hear you got the 3D printer going again. I've got two of them that just sit here for the most part until I think of just something to do with them.
Yeah, luckily having a child, he always wants like some new, like he's like, can I have a new toy on the 3D printer? I'm like, sure, I'll make it happen. I was having an issue for a long time with it, like just like I didn't even want to like mess with it because I was having problems with it, like having it stick and stuff like that. And I finally got it figured out, and everything's going good. Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, so that's the best use case. All you gotta do is get like a spool of that shiny, silky, multicolored filament, and then you make all the dragons that you see at the Renaissance Fair for $80, but you make like 5 of them on a $20 spool.
Dude, it's so much. Yeah, you find like the person who like, is making them. A lot of times you could buy like the, just, they have like a Patreon. I found like the dude that does those like flexi ones, the dragons or whatever, he has a Patreon. $8, you get all his designs. It's the best deal going.
I'm sure you can find we have the dragons at home on Thingiverse for free too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I pay for the premium dragons that don't explode when my child touches them. So, it's good. You been playing anything?
Not much to report. Just on that Call of Duty grind as usual. Finally hit Prestige Master 100. So each 100 levels, you unlock a new set of classic icons you can choose as like your little player icon. So I'm going back to the Black Ops, the original Black Ops icon that'll display by my level now. Yeah. So
those turtles come out yet?
Yes, they're all over the place, and I love it because their big, chunky torsos are very easy to hit compared to like the Terminator T-1000 or whatever he is. He's like way too skinny. I don't know if it makes a difference with the hitboxes when you're shooting at these guys, but it seems like it does. It does in my head anyway.
Man, I want to play. Maybe I'll play some Call of Duty tonight. I haven't played it in a long time, and I want to see the turtles. I want to see the turtles running around.
Yeah, and they brought back the grind map. I don't remember which one that originally came. Maybe like Black Ops 2 or something. But it's like the skate park. They brought it back, but it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I want to check that out. So that's pretty much been it for you. Yep, just a little pretty much Black Ops action.
Trying to get that multiplayer 100% achievement. It's just going to take a while.
Nice. I played one of our new releases, which I'll talk about shortly. I played a new game. Have you ever played Cribbish, the card game?
No.
No, me neither. To me, it just seems like a game that old ladies play. But there was a new game that came out called Cribbish, And it's an indie game, and it is very much like the Cribbish Balatro. It's like a roguelike card game. All the cards have different powers, and you got to like try to get the, you know, the crazy numbers, high scores and stuff like that. So I got a review copy of this game, and I was like, this is perfect. This is right up my alley. And I was like, all right, I don't know how to play cribbage, but let's see how the tutorial is. And it's a good tutorial. So I feel like I've learned a little bit of how to play cribbage, but I still have no clue what's going on. I do know that I want to get, like, you know, pairs. I want to get 15s. I want to get runs, and then my score goes up. Other than that, I was like, this game, I could see how it would be addicting if you're a fan of cribbage, if you're a fan of deck builders, or even Balatro. If you're like, I perfected Balatro, I want a new game, this is it, dude. Cribbish is the next Balatro. It's not as stylish, it's not as like silly, but it has potential. It's only in early access right now, and there's tons of content, like so many different challenges, so many different there's like relics that help your game. There's potions that you could drink to like do one-time things. It's an insane game, and I love that this is like a new thing now. These like playing card deck builders are it's so simple, and they're so much fun. So yeah, Cribbish.
Yeah, that's all you got to say. And it's going to be an interesting world in the next few years as we get more Balatro likes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, deck builders were already kind of, you know, becoming more and more of a mainstream thing. We saw it with, you know, I think Slay the Spire is probably the one that everybody knows. So yeah, they were advancing, and then Balatro came and made it more accessible to everybody, and it's like, boom, you know. So yeah, we'll see a lot more of those. There was another game that came out this week that called Die in the Dungeon, and it's another deck builder, but again, another one with dice. I haven't had a chance to check that out yet. I almost bought it the other day because it's like an introductory sale. I think it's like $9, but I was like, I have so many games in my backlog. I need to just like, you know, we'll let that one sit on the wish list for a little bit. But yeah, man, there's so many of these deck builders, and I'm playing each one of them. Monster Train 2. I just got that. They just had a demo come out of that out of nowhere. Like, that's my second favorite deck builder of all time, and they just came out with the sequel demo, and I played that for 2 hours the other day, just the demo. So yeah, it's all happening, dude. It's a good time to be a fan of silly card games. All right, well, let's get into our games from last week. Let's talk about our new releases. All right, first up, the big one, Avowed, came out February 18th on PC, Xbox X and S. This is the other game that I've been spending a lot of time. I mean, not a ton of time. I've been like really tired at night, and I was like, oh, I just want to play Avowed, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go to bed. So I think maybe like 7 hours into it. It's an action role-playing game. You can play it in the first person or third person. You got magic. You got melee weapons. You got guns. It's got it all. And then throughout the game, there's, you know, this story about you're this envoy and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into the story of it. But you get companions that join your party along the way that handle their own business. You could, you know, tell them, kind of guide them what you want to do. And then there's NPCs that you meet throughout. And then the way you talk to both your companions and your NPCs kind of change the choices of the game, the story that reflects it. So that's really cool. The story is just, it's meh. You know, it's a typical fantasy kind of story, not adding anything new. It's not really what I'm drawn into. So far, what I'm drawn into on it is the encounters, the fighting and stuff like that, trying to figure out what the next thing I'm going to learn, the next thing on the skill tree, because there's so much. And I keep going back and forth. Like, I used to love playing just like a powerful melee character, and that's what I started with this. And I'm just like smashing everybody and doing all this, you know, the big hammer. And then I'm like, I kind of want a taste of the magic. So I was like, do I re-roll my character and start doing some magic? Because that looks fun. And then on top of that, there's guns. You could dual wield like pistols. And so there's so many things that are drawing me to that part of it. The reviews are saying, we talked a little bit about them last week. It's still sitting at an 80 on Metacritic, but as I'm like looking more and more at like the, everyday people's reviews, like going through Steam, people are enjoying it. A lot of people are saying, and I agree, that it is just mid. That's pretty much the word that's getting thrown around about this. It's not amazing. It's not bad. It's just kind of, it'll, hold the call for the next big fantasy game that's going to blow everybody away. And I agree with that totally, but I'm having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, in the gamer groups that I'm in, the small social circles, what I'm seeing mostly is comparison. And, they say comparison's the thief of joy. But comparison to, like, Skyrim and especially Oblivion, because Oblivion is, like, a 20-year-old game at this point. They're showing side-by-side comparisons of what happens in the game. And there's some small stuff I could care less about. Like, in Oblivion, you shoot an arrow into the air, it comes back down, and it stays, in the world. You can pick it up. In this game, arrows just go away, just disappear or whatever. Not a big one for me. But then there's other stuff like in Oblivion, if you walk up to a table and you start swinging your sword, all the stuff goes flying. Like, it feels like a real lived-in world, whereas things are just like static and glued in place in Avowed. Walking up to a guard and shooting them in Oblivion prompts you to, like, I don't know, apologize or antagonize. And if you antagonize, then, they aggro. Other guards join in the fight, and you've got a fight on your hands. But in Avowed, you attack a guard, nothing happens. It's as if you're not even doing it. So I can understand, like, it just doesn't feel fleshed out enough. And if it were not by Obsidian, we probably wouldn't be making these comparisons. But because of that shared DNA with the, I'm blanking on Bethesda games, I guess. With the shared DNA of the Bethesda games, and this being like a spiritual successor to that, you expect it to be a little more
high bar. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, there's a high bar with all the games that they come out. And I totally agree with all that. The worlds don't feel full. They don't feel lived in. It's just kind of feels like you're walking through them. I totally agree with that. And that's why I'm not fully invested in it. I just want, get me to the next, like, fight. Let me level up. I want to, explore, like, look for, loot and stuff like that. But as far as, the towns, the people that you meet, it's just kind of, they're just there. It's not anything special. So, but, it's not as bad as I initially when I first saw Avowed, I was like, this is going to bomb. It's going to suck. But no, it won me over, and I think they're doing a good job. All right, next up, Lost Records Bloom and Rage also came out on February 18th on PC, PS5, Xbox X, and S. This one was the other one I was very excited. It's available on PlayStation Plus, and I was gonna play it that night as well. And then I started playing Avowed. I'm like, this is gonna tide me over. I'm gonna wait until the whole story is out. So the way they're doing the Lost Records one, the first tape came out. They're calling it Bloom, came out on the 18th, and then the second tape 2, comes out April 15th. So I'm just gonna wait for the full story and get it and just do it all once it's already there. I have no hurry to get in there. Because what this is, it's the latest game from Don't Nod. They did Life is Strange, and it's just a narrative adventure. You got your group of friends, like 4 high school girls. They got a punk band. It's their friendship. It's 1995. And then something happens, and then we fast forward to 2022, and we kind of see what, just what happened. And you make the choices along the way, things that you decide. You're playing through just one of the main characters. It's not split up like previous games. So it looks great. The soundtrack sounds fantastic. The graphics look great, and I'm a sucker for these narrative adventure games. So
high schoolers coming to age dramas.
Oh my God, it's a gift from the gods. So I am excited to check it out. It's getting Met reviews. I think it's like 75, 76 on Metacritic. But again, and then you go look at the Steam reviews, and it's got a 94, 95% or something on Steam. So, it's I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I think it might be one that I could get to just play and my wife and I could watch it like a movie. It's one of those. So.
Yeah, from the trailer, I'm really sold on the nostalgia factor. It even tells you you're going to relive the summer of 1995. And that seems really cool, but, maybe one of the reasons for the lower scores is because that creates this world that you want to explore. You want to look around the bedrooms and stuff and just kind of get lost in that nostalgia. But if it's more like watching a movie and pressing X every once in a while, that has its own value, but that's not really that's not the payoff that I'd want from a game that has this world.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Usually with these, like in Life is Strange, they had, you could pretty much interact with a lot of things. There's, you walk around an area and there's like a prompt, like you can look at that or whatever. But yeah, you're right. It's not, you can't leave the room or, do a lot of stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'll report back once I get into there. And then last up, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Came out February 21st on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, X, and S. It's a Yakuza pirate game. This one, the more I look at it, the more I read about it, I'm like, why am I not playing this game? Right. It's a modern day pirate adventure where you play as a Yakuza guy who's got amnesia, so he becomes a pirate. You assemble a crew. You got to upgrade your ship. You have like cannon to cannon battles out on the high seas, and then you can like board their boat. And there's like two different styles of really stylish fighting that you could do. It looks so much fun. And then on top of that, one of the complaints I'm hearing about the game is that once you get to like where the city, there's so many mini games, and you could go be a chef for like an hour and like go change your clothes, and that you don't even want to like continue on with the game. So yeah, I want to play it. I gotta play it.
Yeah, same here. The whole thing looks like just an acid trip in video game form, and I'm into it.
Oh man. Yeah, some of the reviews, like I love when people put on like Steam, like they're like, I shot at a boat while I was wearing a dress with like an anime girl painted on the side of my boat, like 10 out of 10 or whatever. I'm like, this sounds fantastic. So yeah, I'm excited to check this one out at some point. I've never played any of the Like a Dragon ones, and I constantly ask myself why I haven't, because they do really look right up my alley. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll start. I have got I forget which one. I got it in the Humble Bundle a couple months ago. One of the Like a Dragon ones. And I'm just like, I've just been putting it off. But maybe this is the call that I needed to get in there and check it out. So yeah, very cool. All right, that is it for this week's new releases. Now it's time for our news of the week. All right, first up, earlier this week I had a we'll call it a WTF moment when I saw this headline that said NetEase was laying off the studio for Marvel Rivals, or some of them. It wasn't initially, when I first saw this, it wasn't initially clear what was going on. And I was like, how is this happening? Now, we regularly talk about layoffs in the industry, but it's rare that we talk about a game as successful as Marvel Rivals and then having layoffs in the same sentence. So as more was revealed, we found out that it was their Seattle-based team. It wasn't, a ton of people, but they were like the level designers that were, that helped to put some of these levels together. Now, Marvel Rivals has made NetEase over $2.9 billion. I don't know if it's specifically them. That's the number I saw for the quarter. But it helped them earn $2.9 billion just this quarter that it was released, which is insane to me. That first of all, we're talking about an increase in revenue of $2.9 billion, and then we're also talking about layoffs in the same company. But I don't understand can you imagine being a developer in this industry and not having any clue what is going to happen?
Yeah. Make a game that fails, get laid off. Make a game that is monumentally successful, get laid off.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. There's been like regularly, I don't know the number, like 200,000 players like regularly playing it on Twitch. 40 million players since it launched have played it. Like, it's crazy to me to see this. So Netease did issue a statement, and let me read part of it. We recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals' development team structure for organizational reasons and to optimize development efficiency for the game. This resulted in a reduction of a design team based in Seattle that is part of a larger global design function in support of Marvel Rivals. We appreciate the hard work and dedication of those affected and will be treating them confidentially and respectfully with recognition for their individual contributions. So everything's being done out of their main office in China. And then as I'm looking into more of this, I'm finding out this is just it seems like this is just the beginning. Now, Bloomberg then reported that there will be more layoffs because the CEO, William Ding, is looking to slash spending on mostly the U.S. and overseas development teams. So this has then led to a lot of speculation on like who they own and what's going to be affected. So a report from GameFile claimed that NetEase insiders told them they were looking to shut down all of its non-Chinese studios. And this could mean, any number of things. Quantic Dream, they're not based there. Rebel Wolves, they recently announced their first game, Blood of the Dawnwalker. And then there's GP Track 50 Studios. That's led by former Resident Evil producer Hiroyuki Kobayashi. I don't think they've even released a game yet. They're expected to be affected. And then Worlds Untold is led by Mac Walters. He's the guy that wrote Mass Effect. They haven't put anything out. They were just acquired by NetEase not too long ago, and they're expected to possibly be one of these U.S. developers that gets either sold or just shut down. So it's pretty crazy what's going on over there, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the politics that are going on throughout the United States with China or anything like that, but it's pretty crazy that they're just looking to just be done with anything outside of their umbrella inside of China there.
Right. And, the thing is, it's always been cheaper to manufacture things in China, so I kind of wonder if it comes down to the discrepancy in pay and also, like workers' rights and things that end up costing you more too, like your benefits and stuff like that. If you work for an American company, you're going to expect that. I don't know that that's the case in China. But yeah, I just wonder, is it too expensive? It's obviously not too expensive for them, but is it more expensive to have these abroad studios working on games getting paid versus doing it in-house in China?
Now, I should mention that NetEase, they refuted all these claims that they weren't true, but all of the journalists that have reported this have said that they are pretty sure that this is, it's all good information that they're putting out there. So, one of the other things that they refuted too was they, I think in Bloomberg, again, I think initially reported that William Ding didn't want them to use Marvel characters in Marvel Rivals because they didn't want to have to pay Disney anything. So they wanted them to create their own characters for this thing. And I was like, well, that would have flopped. Big time. So yeah, it's interesting. He again said like that's not true either, but people have stood by those reports. So yeah, I don't know.
That's a shame. It's just more of the same, like short-term profits over people and retaining good talent. But one thing that I will tack onto this, I watched a podcast episode from about 4 months ago from Factually, which is Adam Conover from Adam Ruins Everything and College Humor. And it was with the guest Jason Schreier, who we know as the video game journalist GOAT. It's called The Video Game Industry is in Crisis, and they go deep into the subject of what's happening right now with all these layoffs, at least, as it was 4 months ago, which same story today.
It was good. I want to listen to it.
Yep, it's pretty good.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, man, I would Jason Schreier, he's one of the best. He always puts out the best articles. Anytime he writes one, I'm really drawn to it. So, yeah, this is really cool. I would check that out. But yeah, it's a mess. I could never imagine being in the industry and being comfortable on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
Yeah. All right, another giant developer looking to make some changes. Pokemon Go developer Niantic is looking to sell its entire games division to Savvy Games Group subsidiary Scopely. Now, again, this is rumored, but also have been reported by Bloomberg again. So, yeah, looking to get $3.5 billion for the sale of Niantic's. Pretty much, I mean, when we're talking about this, we're pretty much just talking about Pokemon Go. Like, they have, what are the other ones?
Harry Potter,
Pikmin,
NFL.
Bloom, yeah. Monster Hunter now, Ingress, Peridot, yeah, and then potentially the Campfire app, but I don't even know what that is. So, yeah, $3.5 billion to Scopely, which is owned by the Savvy Games Group investment group, which is the Saudi Arabian multinational investment group that has just been buying up a lot of, video game developers and, pretty much anything that the public investment fund over in Saudi Arabia deems worthy of potentially, bringing into the fold. What do you think of this one?
Right. I think it's smart of them to sell now because I think Niantic's days are numbered unless they have like a really big hit on their hands. I don't think that company is going to be worth all that much in the future. I think where we landed on Peridot, which is one of their newer games, is that it was a little too money hungry. I imagine Pokemon Go is probably the same way. I haven't played it in like 4 years since it was real popular. So I don't know. This is like partially based on a conspiracy that people have about Niantic and Pokemon Go, but they say that this is more of a data company. That's where the value is than the actual game's revenue, because this has everybody on their phone, GPS, cameras active, running all these different places. They say, pop down a rare Pokemon and have everybody run there if you need more data on that area of the world.
Absolutely.
So is Saudi Arabia's interest here in, the video game aspect of it at all, or is it in the data collection, whatever data they've already collected through these apps?
Yeah, that's a great question. And is it worth, like, right now, $3.5 billion for them? Now, I think, I saw a number, I don't think I have it here, but I think from the start of Pokemon Go, it was like $2.5 billion or something like that they've brought in revenue. So, I mean, which has been years, and that was during its, when it was super popular, which it really isn't anymore. But yeah, I think it's got to be a big part of it, right? You get all that data, and then you could force people to go and do certain things. So, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what they could do, Niantic being, to like make something like that fun again. I don't know. Like, I feel like that idea, that AR thing where you're finding these things, I think that's gone. I think Pokemon was the perfect example of that, and I don't know what could ever do it better.
Right. If Harry Potter couldn't and NFL couldn't, I don't know what's left. Marvel.
Yeah.
Capture Iron Man out in the real world.
I remember talking about something like that before, and I don't know if it was them or what, but I completely forgot about that until you mentioned it. There was something in the books that they were working on.
Right, I think they were working on this. I don't know if they're still supposed to be working on them, or if they came out and flopped that fast. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Anywho, all right, well, we'll see if that sale does go through, and we'll report back if Niantic gets a new owner. All right, some exciting news here for Tony Hawk fans. Tony Hawk Pro Skater was teased in the latest Call of Duty Black Ops 6 update. Now, did you see this firsthand? I'm sure you did when you're in the grind or whatever. Matt?
I didn't. I've only played a few matches on that map so far, so I didn't even know it was in the game until you mentioned it in the intro here.
Yeah, so there's a banner on that level that says, it shows the Tony Hawk Pro Skater logo, and then it says 3/4/25. So there is, a lot. People are excited. And now you go to the official site for the Tony Hawk game, and there's a countdown clock to March 4th, which, we would assume there's an announcement coming. And then someone looked at they did a little data mining on that clock, and it says, I think it's like THPS 3/4 countdown. So, which leads a lot of people to believe that's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, which would make sense because the last one was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. But, I mean, it technically could be because the announcement is on 3/4. It could be that is just the name of the date on there. I doubt it. I think we're getting Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake, and I am excited. I'm looking forward to it. I don't remember playing them. I think that was once I kind of moved on. Like, when did Tony Hawk Underground come out?
With the PlayStation 2, it had to be in the 2002, 2004, somewhere in there.
Was that before or after 3 and 4?
After.
I don't remember. That was after. Okay. So I remember playing that one, but that was like the last one I played.
Yeah, so, it kind of revitalized it. Underground 1 and 2 were really big, and then they kind of fell off again with, I think, American Wasteland 1 and 2 or something like that.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this one? Is that something you're interested in?
It is. I mean, I didn't get the remakes of 1 and 2. I played the ever-living hell out of 1 and 2 back in the day. Didn't touch as much 3. I never owned it, but I played like friends' copies of it, and then I didn't touch 4 at all. So I'm not as hyped about these as 1 and 2. So I probably picked that up over these. But I mean, I'm kind of waiting. Like, I don't want to play a remake of a game I've already got 200 hours in. I'm ready for something new that revitalizes the series once again.
Yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater with 6. I don't even know what we're on anymore. But
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, so I got the 1 and 2, and it was more about the nostalgia for me than the actual playing the game. I went in there and I was like, oh, I remember this. I remember doing this, finding all the little things that's just muscle memory. You're just skating around, you know where all the hidden things are. And then after that, I was like, all right, that was fun. And I really never went back to it. So, you hear the soundtrack, you get that back, So, 3 and 4, which I've never played, I won't have that attachment. So, we'll see. I don't know. But I just hope it sells really well. And then there'll be some interest in a new game.
Yeah.
And then they can start doing all of it. We'll bring it back. SSX.
Jet Set Radio Future.
Sure, yeah. Give me all those arcadey.
How about new Cool Borders or Jet Moto?
Ooh, I did like those ones too. Fantastic. All right. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this next topic. So, Rockstar they're reportedly planning to do Roblox kind of Fortnite kind of user-generated content within GTA6. Now, this is not confirmed, but this is being reported because they've met with some top creators to see if that'd be something that they could do. What are your thoughts, just based on that headline?
Yeah, so on the surface, this is nothing new. I mean, GTA 5 Online lets users create races, stunts. Some of the most fun I've ever had in GTA Online is playing user-made games where you're on a giant platform in the air. Somebody's shoving a sports car up a ramp at you, and you're trying to hit it with an RPG as it goes by.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's all and I mean, user-generated races that just kind of go crazy. It makes the game completely unrealistic, but a ton of fun.
I know that the GTA 5 like RPG thing was a big thing for a while. People doing that world. I didn't even know that there was like maps and stuff like that people were doing.
Yeah, and that changes the game completely. But like in the vanilla game, they have the Roblox style kind of user generated games. Now, if gaming journalists are kind of conflating it with Fortnite and Roblox, where they're talking about, well, you could possibly bring in your own IP and get paid for digital downloads. I haven't seen any evidence that that's what they're talking about yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, so the ones in GTA 5, that's just for fun. Like, people put those up there, and they're not getting any revenue from their creations. Okay. So, yeah,
I mean, if you're talking about the modding end of things, then you're running your own servers. You can charge subscriptions and things like that.
Gotcha.
But I don't know that that's what they're talking about here.
Yeah, it does seem that there would be like a revenue shared thing if they create like a popular world in the GTA6 sandbox. Then they would get some of that. Which I mean, I don't know. It could go both ways. We see a lot of like this crappy shovelware stuff in Roblox, and then there's also some diamonds that do pop out, both in Roblox and Fortnite. So much so in Fortnite, where they then made that part of their model with the the Lego and adding all these other things in there, just giving them the Fortnite tools and then having them create worlds that people use. So it's interesting. It's it opens up the door to a lot of good ideas with very R-rated ideas. I don't know, like the world of GTA 6 is obviously a lot more adult than either Roblox or Fortnite. So like you could go a lot of different ways with those worlds. So it'll be interesting to see what does happen from this. So now this is just something. It was brought up by Digiday, which is a reporting thing that they said that they had knowledge of meetings with creators. So again, take that with a grain of salt. But could be interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, you can question what's the incentive of the creator in that they're talking to. If they're going to like top Fortnite, top Roblox creators and saying, will you create something for our game? I don't know that this is like a revenue share kind of thing, or if they're trying to, hey, use our tools, create some really good levels, and these are going to be featured the entire time we have the game up. Right. It could be a situation like that, just getting paid just on commission to do these.
Yeah, just having more stuff out there. So again, too early to tell, but this could open up the whole idea of GTA 6 for just endless playability. I mean, GTA 5 already was pretty much there. If they take that just a step further, like, it could go on and on. This is when we start paying $100 for these games. When we have, well, how much is it worth to you? All right, and then speaking of Grand Theft Auto, so GTA 5 on PC is finally getting an update that has been out on console. It's coming on March 4th, and this includes like a ton of vehicles and performance updates, animal encounters, GTA Plus membership. Are you excited about this? Are you still playing GTA ever? I know you were big into it for a long time.
Yeah. I started it on PC. Again, this is my third time starting over from scratch. So I didn't really get into it as much this time. Then I got into Grand RP, one of the role-playing servers, and that's just a separate experience from the GTA Online. Since then, I haven't really gotten back into the vanilla experience of it, and I honestly didn't know that PC was lagging behind consoles. I didn't know consoles. This is what pisses people off about this news right now, is that console players had to pay $40 for this upgrade a little while back.
Oh,
I had no idea that happened.
PC. How long ago was it? It was a while, right?
They talk about it was months ago, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wasn't aware of that. And that's kind of surprising because you already bought the upgraded version of the game for your newer console. And I'm sure they're not talking about 360 and PS3 right now with this.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't. And the other part about this, we're getting really in the weeds with GTA 5, so maybe it is time for it to kind of fizzle out. They're talking about if you don't have this upgrade, you're not going to be able to play with people on the previous version of the game, which will remain a separate experience. So now we've got multiple versions of the game on the same platforms that cannot, communicate with each other.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely getting a little crazy. So hopefully this is the last bit. I wonder what's going to happen to it once GTA 6 does come out. How much longer they'll continue to, host it and put stuff out and that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a huge number of people that are playing it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. All right, and then last up, Nintendo is no longer giving out gold points. From the end of next month, March 25th, 2025, players will no longer earn gold points. This is the, you get it whenever you make a purchase. You get the gold points. You can use them for, little things within the Nintendo world, or sometimes discounts on games. They did not say why they are removing it, but the players will continue to earn points on purchases before March 24th, and they will continue. You'll still have them up to 12 months from the date they were earned. So you can, just make sure you start to get rid of them. I feel like it's phased out because we're getting towards the Switch 2, where things are going to start to, change up, and I still don't know what to expect from there. They did say that the online, whatever the Nintendo Switch Online, that'll carry over if you're a member of that. It'll still work on Nintendo Switch 2. The vouchers, if you have any of the vouchers that you could buy for their premium digital games, those won't carry over to Nintendo Switch 2, so it can use those up. So it does seem like we're getting more and more towards like an official anything with the Nintendo Switch 2. We do have that
Right.
That announced Nintendo Direct. What was that, in April? So I guess we're just gonna have little stories like this until that. But yeah, I'm really eager for some information about the Switch 2 date, price, just something, But I guess we're probably gonna have to wait. So,
Yeah, this news kind of sucks because we know how expensive Nintendo games stay, and they rarely ever get discounts. If they do, it's not much. So this was like the one little thing where you get a little bit back, and every once in a while you get enough to make it. If maybe you don't want to spend $60 on one of those games that's been out for 4 years on the Switch, but it's okay if you take like $10 off through your gold points.
Right.
Or you go out and find an indie title and you paid like basically nothing for it out of new money because you had this saved up on the side. So that kind of sucks. But I mean, maybe they'll come out with some new scheme on the Switch 2 that'll replace it.
Yeah, I hope so. They do need to, reward anybody investing money into the Nintendo community, just because, obviously you can't play Nintendo games anywhere else. So they know that they have that, but with handheld gaming now, like there's so many other options. So to keep those players there for if you're playing anything other than just Nintendo games, the whole world is a little bit better elsewhere on any of the, Steam Deck or the other handheld PCs, for as the indie world. But yeah, you can't get your Mario anywhere else. So a little bit, give us some of these coins. It's me. I collected the coins.
Yeah. I mean, if they get a little too greedy, then piracy is going to be people's solution. So
with Nintendo, they'll come to your house and stab you.
They'll try. They can't get you if you're in Iceland.
They'll send the lawyers to your house, or a hitman dressed up like Luigi, not the Luigi God. You're thinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. I do want to announce that next week. Well, we'll talk about it next week, but the day that our show comes out, there will be a ID at Xbox event at IGN's FanFest, talking about trailers and gameplay and reveals from indie studios, including Raw Fury, Team 17, Akupara, 11-Bit, and many others. Highlights include the next big collaboration for Balatro and much, much more. So we'll be talking about that next week, but that does come out the day if you're listening to this on the Monday it came out, then it'll be out then. And then on the February 27th, Pokemon Presents. So I'm sure we'll touch on that next week, see what any big announcements are regarding the Pokemon world. Hopefully some new games, maybe Pokemon Go 2. Raise that sale price for Niantic. Get that bumping.
I think we're probably waiting on what's the new ones like. It's gotten kind of strange with the naming, but it's like a future and past or something like whatever it is, or maybe it's all digital. I don't remember X and Y. Or we're probably going to see some more info on the games that are about to come out, though.
Yeah, I would expect. I mean, as far as like the cards go, like it's been crazy seeing those like through social media and like how quickly those are moving off shelves and stuff. So there's definitely a resurgence in the world of Pokemon trading cards. So hopefully we'll get something cool in the video game world as well. But yeah, we'll be talking about all that stuff next week. Before we head out, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
That is it. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of Gaming News Weekly. Be sure to follow us on YouTube. Go to YouTube. Pop Culture Playground is the name of the channel. Hit subscribe there, and you will have all of this good stuff coming at you, as well as First Steps is another podcast, and they're cool. They might do something every once in a while, but it's very rare.
We should get the guy from First Steps on here.
Oh my God, yes. The other guy, yeah, I can't even get him to come on the regular show.
Yeah, First Steps.
And then podcasts. Anywhere podcasts are found, type in GNW, hit subscribe there. That way you'll get all these shows regularly. Every single Monday, they'll be ready for you to listen to on your way into work, on your at your workout at the gym, anywhere. When you're making dinner, it's another good time. When you're playing Power Wash Simulator, that's a good podcast. If you're out shoveling like I need to go do, all the good times. Make sure you subscribe there, and then you'll have that every week. And then check us out on the socials, TikTok, Blue Sky, Lemon8. I don't know. We're not there yet, but maybe. And that's all I got. So, yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.